Hello everyone, in today's video we'll be looking at the Alekhine defense, Alekhine's defense, Alekhine, there's like 20 different ways to pronounce this guy's name. He was the 4th world champion and created this defense, or at least this defense was named after him. It's probably more appropriate. So it's characterized by pawn to e4, and then the defense is knight to f6, as opposed to, e5 or anything else that you can do, knight to f6. So we're going to look at 10 different variations of this. This variation is called the main line. So this is the one that, if you're going to use this defense, is sort of the more the modern main line, if you will. So there's an older variation that people used to use that I guess fell out of favor for whatever reason. So if you've seen our opening videos before, the idea is, so this one ends with white up 0.8. Again, that's the modern main line. Okay, we'll look at another modern. This is actually considered the modern main line as well. But if you've seen our videos before, what we normally do is just show you sort of the quick and dirty of these openings, to see if you like it, to see if it looks interesting to you. I'm not personally a big fan of, especially beginners, spending a lot of time learning openings. I don't really think it does a lot of good. I think more time should be spent on learning the basic principles. Again, after this one, white's up 0.7. Learning the basic principles of chess openings, and then, just there's so much other stuff of importance to learn and master in chess before you necessarily pick an opening, but definitely before you study a lot of openings, because having a wide range of openings that you can use in a tournament and all that sort of stuff, it's not necessary for the average player. I'm, again, 0.8 for white in this one. I'm a 2000 rated player online. In real life, it's a little bit lower than that, but I have basically one opening for white and one defense for black. This isn't it. But yeah, you don't need, a whole 5-10 openings and defenses for the average player. So this one is called the Alburt Variation. The one before this was called the Flohr, Flohr Variation. So this one ends in a seemingly very precarious position where it's white's turn to move, but it looks like, white can take the knight with the queen. Sorry, white can take the bishop with the knight or the queen. It just seems like this is trouble, but it's only plus 0.3 for white, so apparently playable. Okay, the fourth one. This is the fifth one. The fifth one we're going to look at is still the main line, but this one is considered the Larsen Variation. Larsen was another famous chess player that has, I think, a couple, at least, lines in openings. He very aggressive. In this one, there was a knight sacrifice on f7. Now you're getting the queen in there, and this looks all sorts of dangerous for black. But, so white has sacrificed that knight on a pawn, so he's down 2 points. White's down 2 points, but he had a very interesting and strong position here, where it seems like the knight's coming in for. Oh, you can't take it there yet. Okay, yeah. So white's just going to try to take advantage of having the black king in the middle of the board, and you can see from the evaluation bar that the computer does not like this position for black. That's not surprising at all. Okay, we're going to look at the 6-1, which is now we're going into, this is sort of those first 5 are all the modern line. This is the older stuff, if you will. And these are often called the exchange variation. So that you see the pawns on d6 get traded off a couple of times. And so that's why this is called the exchange variation. And I personally like this a little bit better. This looks more of how I would play, where you have, you are eventually taking over the center of the board, and this totally looks playable to me. You see that the computer likes it as well, just a 0.4 in favor of white. Okay, another exchange variation option where you're going to see these pawns get exchanged on d6. And so something else to be interesting to note about we'll go with Alekhine's defense is that, you move this knight around, at least 3 times, right? So that is not normally what you do in an opening, but it's okay. And, so right here, for example, you have 1, 2, 3 developed, and then 1, 2, 3 developed. So you're not actually behind, even though you've moved this knight around so much, and you have this nice open file for your rook. So, okay, this is the 8th one, and this one is called the Flohr Pawns Variation. So it's called 4 pawns because, as you will see, white pushes out all those 4 pawns in the middle before they start to get exchanged and traded off. So this is the 4 pawns main line, and attacking in the middle. You're moving that knight around, so you moved multiple knights multiple times, and yet white's only up 0.4, so still playable. It looks dangerous with these 2 powerful, central pawns, but I guess black can hold on. Okay, this is the 9th out of 10. This one is, again, the 4 pawns main line. Just a slight variation in how it turns out. So again, there's 4 pawns in the middle of the board. Looks pretty powerful, but now eventually you have to bring out your pieces and defend them, right? You can't just throw all your pawns out and hope to win a chess game. So in this one, the F7 push, I don't know, it scares me, but I guess, again, if the computer says it's playable, that's all that matters, right? In this one, white is up 0.6, which we've seen worse, we've seen better. And the final variation we're going to look at is called this is the 2 Pawns Lasker variation. So again, this is another one where Lasker has it named after himself. And in this one, you actually trade away that knight, which is uncommon in some of these positions. And you just get a fascinating sacrifice, rook, queen, and then you end up pulling the bishop back. And this is a really dicey position. I don't know that white would ever play this, but if they did, as black, you would already have a 0.4 advantage. And this is the only, of all the variations we looked at, this is the only one where black is actually up after the first, 10, 11, 12 moves. So these are the Alekhine defense openings. If you find them interesting, there are books written, there are hundreds of, I don't know, thousands, probably hundreds of videos out there that go more into depth. This is just an introductory video, just to see if you find it interesting and whether you might want to learn more about it. Okay, we have some other opening videos that will be right over there. Thanks for watching.